Hello everyone, this is Mr. Feng with Week 8 bass lesson. In this lesson, we will begin to use our first finger on the D string for the new note E. We will pluck it. We will also bow this note. So let's begin. On your bass, you might find that there is a white dot, which is white out, that is next to the E string to help you find where your first finger will belong on all the strings. When we place the first finger down, we're going to go right across, directly across from where that dot is. And we're going to start on the D string. The white dot will wear off eventually after much use. So first we have our thumb in the middle of the neck, curled thumb. And what we're going to do is we're going to curl that first finger and we're going to put that finger on the D string across from the white dot, and we're going to push the string down. Take a look. And what we want to do is we want to push the string down and hold the string down and let the string touch the fingerboard. When the string touches the fingerboard here, then it will go up to the next pitch. And the next note on the D string will be E. So here I go. I'm going to push the finger down, and then we can pluck the same string, that D string, to give us that E note. Take a listen. It's a higher sounding note than the D itself because we're adding a finger, we're adding up to the next pitch in the music alphabet. So this will give us E. Now sometimes our small hands might get very tired, or we might not have enough strength to push the string down. And this is what I usually teach my younger kids, is to have the second finger, the middle finger, come push on top of the index finger together at the same time. But we have to remember that the thumb is below the index finger. We do not want to keep the thumb across the neck from the index finger here. A lot of people do this, but we don't want this because later on when we go to the fourth finger, there's not much opposition support for the pinky. That's why we want to get used to having the thumb in the middle. When we put down all four fingers later, we're going to find that our pinky is a lot stronger with our thumb in the middle of the hand than it is if it's across the street from the pointer finger. So we don't want to keep the thumb across from the pointer finger, even if we're only using the pointer finger now. So our pointer finger is the first finger, or the index finger, but we call this the first finger on the bass. So make sure that that thumb is down here, right near the middle of the neck. Okay, give this a try. We're setting up our good posture here. The bass is a bit tilted. My thumb is below the index finger. My thumb is below the index finger. My index finger is across from the white dot. I'm going to use the absolute tip of my index finger because that's where we're the strongest. I'm going to push down. I'm going to hold that string down, and we're going to pluck 4 E's together. Set. 1, 2, ready, E. Let's try another 4 E's. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. When we're pushing down that first finger, we always want to keep our fingers curled. When it's curled, we're actually striking the string from above, and that's when we're the strongest. We don't want to let the finger collapse or flatten like this. If we allow the finger to flatten like such, our finger will be very uncomfortable very soon. And I understand that this might be your first time pushing down on the bass string, and the bass string is very thick and it's heavy. It has a lot of weight to the tension. Take a rest if you need to. But a nice exercise I found is after playing for a while, I just need to move my fingers a little bit, and my muscles will stretch out and they will refreshen and recover. So let's give this another try. We're going to curl that first finger. We're going to place it at the tip of the finger on the string and keep that thumb below the index finger. Remember, the index finger is going to be above the thumb. Set it on the E. Let's give it another 4 E's. 1, 2, plucking, go. Okay. And when we pluck, sometimes we might get a fuzzy sound or a thud. This is what a thud will sound like. Doesn't sound like much. The tone is not really forming. It's not really sounding, and that's because we might be pushing down too softly. Remember, when we push down, our finger has to bring the string all the way down to the fingerboard. That's when it's stopped. If it's only halfway down and not all the way down, it will not sound. Or you might get a fuzzy sound, and that might be if you're pushing down just about halfway. You're still kind of getting a thud. So we need to push all the way down, then you will get a full tone, a nice tone. Okay. When we go back and forth between the D and the E string, we don't have to lift off that thumb, and we don't have to lift the finger off too far. We just need to clear the string. And if you hover it, you can hover about this much off the string. About this much off the string. And then when you need it, bam, it's there. When you don't, just lift it off slightly. Slightly so that it's ready to go. Whenever you need the E, it's ready. But the thumb is super important. That thumb has to stay right on the neck. Even if you're not using these fingers. If these fingers are on vacation, that thumb needs to be here for good support of the bass and part of your posture. And so that your hand doesn't lose its place. If you keep the hand here and the thumb here the whole time, you won't need to look at the finger to find where that E note needs to be. Okay. So let's go back and forth between the D string and the E string. First, we'll start with D. We'll hover the finger just slightly off the string, and then we'll put down 4 E's. But first, 4 D's. 1, 2, ready, D. Ready, set the first finger down. Fingertip, curled fingers, thumb is still below the index finger. 1, 2, E, go. 4 D's, lift it off slightly, hover, ready, go. First finger down on the E, ready, go. And let's give this a try without looking. We're going to close our eyes, keep that finger down here. You can look and check for a moment. Check where your first finger is. Close your eyes, trust yourself, feel where your hand is, feel that space between your thumb and that first finger. 1, 2, E, eyes closed, go. Let's give this another 4 E's. 1, 2, ready, go. And remember, if you're feeling a little bit tired, just move your fingers around a little bit. You might get one of these. It's almost like a little pipe or a little groove in your fingertip from pushing down on the bass string. It's okay. It will rub right off. And for those of us who practice bass a lot every day, or even just 5 or 10 minutes a day, you will get stronger in your fingers. The calluses will form on your fingertips. It's a hardening of the skin. And you will get used to it where it will not become uncomfortable. It will become more comfortable later. Okay, so let's go back and forth between the D's and E's without stopping and hovering the string so it's there and ready to go when I need it. So we're only hovering that little bit, okay? Thumb is curled, thumb is also bent behind the neck. Let's start with D. 1, 2, ready, D. Then E now, set. 2, 3, lift it off and hover just slightly. 1, 2, get ready for the first finger, E, down now. 1, 2, 3, one more set. Open D string. 1, 2, 3, get ready for the first finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's go on to the bow. Let's create our bow hold. Easy 3 steps. Bent thumb, behind the grip, 4 fingers over the stick with the pinky tip about the pad of the pinky on the side. But we're not creating a violin or viola bow hold where we put the pinky tip on top of the stick. We are putting the pinky on the side of the bow and over the stick. Okay, and step 3, the most important step of it all, relax. You can try to pretend that you have a watch here and you have to turn your wrist in so that you get a nice angle on these fingers. Remember to curl your fingers also, no straight fingers, and the thumb bent behind. Set it on 4 Ds. We're going to push the finger down the same way we pluck it. But 4 Ds first. 1, 2, no fingers, D. Now let's set the first finger down and hold that finger down. 1, 2, ready, E. No fingers, D, ready, go. First finger down, ready, E, go. And when you're ready, you can definitely go back and forth between the D's and E's, hovering that E. Most importantly, you're staying relaxed, you're not hurting yourself. Thumb is behind and below the index finger. And if you need to take a rest, rest those fingers until you build strength, and you will get stronger. Happy practicing.